Welcome to the Shootin The Que podcast presented by Heath Riles Barbecue with tips, tricks, and an inside look at some of the top pitmasters in the game. Now here's your host, Heath Riles.
Welcome back to another episode of Shootin The Que. Today I'm joined by my lovely wife Candace and two of our really good friends, Bob and Moe. How are y'all gentlemen doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having us again.
Yep. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
It's always a good time when you two can come in town and hang out, right?
Yes, it is.
I mean, always.
And you entice us with all kinds of fun treats and
Yep.
deer hunting and good meals. And
Good meals.
It's just good to be
good
here.
company.
This is not a Diddy party.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell him. See, he's always just
He's going off to the left.
What is
man.
it called? A freak out?
freak
Or-
freak off.
Freak off. No
Yeah.
freak off.
I don't know what that means, but
Yeah, you do. You know what
yeah,
it is.
sure.
You've
You're
seen the
from Philly.
news.
Yeah.
I don't watch that shit on the news.
It's on social media.
I mean, there's a
Well, look,
lot better things to watch.
we're down here and we're talking about today. Y'all out hunting, right?
Yeah.
Come down and do a little hunting, and y'all both been doing some hunting, right? You started off in Pennsylvania.
I started off in Kentucky, actually.
This year, you killed a Pennsylvania deer too, right?
I did. That was my third stop back home.
Third stop back home.
Yeah. Yep.
Good. Mo, what all have you hunted this year?
Yeah, I think Kentucky was the first one. Bob and I have like a little competition where we have a little wager on biggest buck, first buck, biggest buck, I think biggest rack or something like that. So we both went to Kentucky at our friend's place, Logan's, and didn't see the shooter that we want to shoot, because we shot each a nice deer last year there and got him taxidermied, and then we picked him up when we came back this time. So we went from there to Mexico, Missouri,
Yeah.
and worked hard but didn't see anything that was worth shooting. And then he took off to Pennsylvania, and then I went to Texas.
And that's where it all went downhill for me. I mean, I had a great deer in Pennsylvania, but this guy ended up shooting like 4 or 5 animals.
Yeah, it was a 14. A friend of mine owns 14,000 acres, low fence, so they can come and go as they please. But he's got like 26 feeders spread all over, and he's got elk on there. He's got muleys, whitetails, axis, black buck, javelinas, and there's one more species. But
Like mountain lions.
yeah, his mountain lions there too. And
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it was really interesting. When he emailed me, my good friend John, that owns the Midland Meats, he participates and provides meat to a big barbecue festival there in Midland called Basin Burnout. I think Basin Burnout is what it's called. And it's basically a barbecue contest with oil field companies competing against each other. So every oil field company has a barbecue team. And they all get together and they come to Midland and they compete against each other. And they got a music festival, and it's been going on for 9 years. So they reached out to John because John's good friends with them, and John knows I'm good friends with John. And they asked if they wanted me to come out, and which is in the end of March, to do just to shake hands, kiss babies, and stuff like that, So they asked me what it would take for me to come out. And I get those opportunities, and I just, a lot of times I just tell my price, and it is what it is. But I'm in hunt mode, so I said I actually really want to hunt. There's a species that I want to get. I want to get access. I want to be able to get, access was really on my list, and a muley deer. I've never shot a mule deer before. And muley, I was there.
I hadn't either. I mean, I've seen some really nice ones, pictures and TV and all that. But
That's on my bucket list too.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that's one of the
cool.
hardest things to hunt is mule deer.
Oh my God! And actually, my guide, he's a cool dude. I never thought about it. I've got a nice Trichicon Reap thermal, and he said, "Grab your thermal." I took it off one of my 300 blackout I had, and I just had it in my hand. And he had his thermal, and you go down through these canyons. It's not really so much canyons; they're bluffs.
But you can glass and see, though, even in the
can see the heat,
daytime,
yes.
you can see the heat and kind of stalk toward them. And that's actually, I just bought a thermal myself.
Yeah.
for the same thing. Malcolm was telling me he was doing that.
Yeah.
And I
That's
was
how you see 'em.
really? He was like, yeah. He said, I can't see him in the field. He said, but I could shine it out there and tell you it's 100 yards out behind,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, we
shrubs and
literally
trees.
drove by, and you can see. Look, you look up there, Mo, and I'm looking, and I don't see nothing. He said, "Put your thumb up, boom," and there's a big muley just sitting there, laying down, just sitting there right on the rock sides on that side of that bluff, and I'm like, wow. So that thing shortens the learning curve, or shortens the trying to find them.
Yeah.
And but I learned a lot about different species, like the difference between a muley and a whitetail as far as their behavior. Like a male mule deer generally will not go to a corn feeder, to a feeder. Those will, but not. They'll sit there and kind of generalize and just keep in their area where they're at. That's what they do. So, and it's true because every feeder that I seen, there was whitetail, there was javelinas, there's some black buck, but there was the female mule deer, but there was no bucks.
It's almost like a lot of the majority of the ones that I've seen, like on TV and things like that, it's a lot of spot and stalk, and you got to catch the wind right, where they can't see you or smell you coming.
Exactly.
You know, and it's almost like that, and you got to wait on them to stand up or, you know,
Right.
get up on them so close almost.
I don't know how people bow hunt for those deer. I mean, that's incredible.
I'm sure you've seen some of the videos of getting up within 25
Oh,
yards
yeah.
of them,
Yeah,
and, you know, and stand up
unbelievable.
and sticking one, and that's
insane.
bow hunting is hard.
You
enough
need a
itself,
lot of
but
patience.
yeah,
A lot of patience.
a lot. There's been a lot of misses, more than you probably.
Yeah.
I mean, we see the harvest on TV, yeah, but how many times did you go out there and do that and that deer run off?
Absolutely.
You know, or somewhere else. And that
Yep.
out west though, it's totally different. And how did the Texas hunting? You've been to Texas and hunted before, I know. And I've been a couple times out to Texas, and me and you were out there at the same time, and I texted you when I seen you were out.
Yeah.
And we were like right at 4 hours apart, so there was no way to link up.
Yeah.
You were way, way more down south than I was.
Yeah, I was 40 to 50 miles from the Mexican border. So
That's pretty intriguing.
Pretty far south.
just to keep it real, since it's low fence, when they told me, I was texting the owner, and he said, man, he said, make sure, he said, you bring a pistol. Well, I said, okay, I mean, I normally do anyway, but he said, bring a pistol. He says, because you're so close to the Mexican border that there's a lot of traffic, illegals, to be honest. And he says, they've had a lot of instances where they'll walk up in a blind and there'll be a cigarette still lit, or they hear them coming in, they bug out, or there's wrappers and stuff inside of a blind. And so he said, we never had any like confrontations to where they got physical or violent. He said, you just let them know. And then he said, the reason why you have that is because they're coyotes. Because if they see you and you see them, then stuff can go sideways real quick because they are bringing people over. And so he said, that's where you really need it. He said, it's not so much the illegals, he said, because they just kind of bug out. They just trying to get a better life. But he said, it's the coyotes that are bringing them over there because now you've identified who he is or whatever. And if he don't want you to know who he is, then stuff can be.
So when your guy drops you off like a mile from your stand, you're in trouble, right? He's not following you in.
Well, in Texas, you generally don't have to walk a mile to the stand.
No.
Yeah.
Right, Mo?
But I mean, it was just really cool, though. It was a great experience. And,
So did you kill a javelina?
yeah, I killed two. And I've always wanted one because I just think they're cool, unique vehicle. And I learned a lot about them. I thought they were like a pig, and they're really not. They're more genetically closer to a rodent. But they are very vicious. Hogs can be vicious.
Yeah.
But these little things, man, are like mean.
Really?
Like I was watching a feeder. It was probably 150 yards out. Had bucks on there, whitetail. It had does. It had some black buck on there, and they're all feeding. And a pack of javelinas came up. And as soon as they walked up, and they're a lot smaller than an adult deer. As soon as those deer seen them javelinas, they all bugged out.
Well, we seen some pigs in Texas. There were 17 that come and run some deer off a feeder we were on. And me and the guide ended up killing 5 out of the 17.
Yeah.
I mean, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure is.
I mean, I got 3 in one shot.
Did you really?
Lined them up, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but a 7mm and a 180 grain bullet, it tends to do it.
Yep.
Impressive.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I shot these two with my, well, it wasn't mine. I used my buddy's. He has a 7 mil PRC.
No, it's 7 millimeter.
7 millimeter.
Or 6.5 PRC.
No, it was 7 millimeter PRC, I think, or something like that. He said, I don't know if it's PRC, but it was 7 millimeter. And I just used that. He was already dialed in because my other rifles were dialed in for further distance. So he was dialed in already at 100-something yards. So it's like, boom, dropped him easy. And those things are nasty creatures, man.
They are.
And people eat them. Not very many people, but there's people that eat them. And they stink to high heaven.
Really?
Yeah, they have like 8 glands in them. So when you walk up on it, it's almost like a skunk, but worse.
Really?
You know, skunk
well, I'm not going and hunting them then. I don't like that.
It's they're cool because they got these fangs. And when the mount that I have, I'm actually getting that same mount done. I took a picture of it off the internet when I dropped my mounts off in Midland. It's going to have some rocks that were like rocks in that area. It's going to have a little cactus, prickly pear cactus, whatever, and that's going to be and it's got his mouth on the fangs. It's going to look pretty sweet, man. I can't wait to get that mount done. I'm really excited about that.
Hung with a Louis Vuitton cord.
Oh, look at it.
No, because he said it was a bougie mount. That's why I said
It's
that.
a bougie mount. That's why I'm bougie.
Hey, I've seen some really good mounts though. You know, you can get high dollar.
Oh, there's some beautiful
on some
stuff out
mounts.
there, yeah.
You know, I've seen. I mean, you can walk in a Bass Pro and see full bodies and all that kind of stuff. But
So-
when you walk in somebody's house, a little bit.
So do those do they tear up the land? Like, what are they? You said
They go to corn feeders and they eat. I mean, they're not. I don't.
Well, that's any
they're
animal.
not that big.
They're not like wild hogs over
Not like
tearing the
wild-
land up. And
They don't
like,
tear the land up or anything like that.
I have no idea.
Not sure.
They may be.
Javelina is kind of like evasive.
But they're natural.
Invasive.
No, they're a natural species of Texas. So that's why I wanted to get on my list because that is like if you're going to shoot something and along with that, it's get a javelina because that's really cool. That's just Texas. I'm sure there's in other southern states too, but Texas is javelinas. That's where they're.
Well, what we're noticing around in our area is that a lot of people is getting wild hogs, and so I have some cousins in them, and they farm and things like that, and they have traps where they trap them and all that. And it seems like a lot of them has moved. And I have another friend that sent me some stuff, and I didn't know they were so close to where we are. They're probably within 10 miles, 8 miles of us.
Wow,
now.
I meant to ask you that because I didn't see any.
I'll probably be there
signs.
soon.
Maybe within 6 or 7 miles, and that's not very far the way the crow flies, right? And so I bought me a thermal and all that kind of stuff, and been talking, and I'm friends with some guys in Arkansas that build some rifles for me, and they go out and they kill hogs and all that. He's up to 100 and he told me 101 the other night since the beginning of the year. But they go out and they hunt that. No, he killed 101 coyotes. That's what he's up to. But they hog hunt too with a lot of thermals and stuff, and have fun with it. And that's something I want to get more into because a lot of times, hunting whitetail, you got to wait till, the winter time, right, and all that. And I'm always looking for something to do during the summer. So
Sure.
I think that'd be pretty cool to start something like that.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things for me is, going hunting like that is the camaraderie and the food back at the camp.
Oh man.
So what kind of food did y'all have?
Dude, it was lit. The guys that volunteered to come out, they have a restaurant, and I can't remember, but it's in Midland. It's a well-known restaurant. The Hispanic young man he's in the oil field business. He's the one that sells all those guys are all in the oil field business, every single one of them. All of them are in the oil field business, from selling pipe to pump jack, whatever. And so the young cat that owns a Mexican restaurant, he also owns his main company, which is he sells equipment. You know what I mean? So him, his dad, and his two brothers came out and cooked for us for the whole week, and it was awesome. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I mean straight, great, excellent Mexican food, dude. I mean, from the eggs in the morning to the beans, it was just incredible food, man. And I ate good, man. I ate good.
We ate good too. The guy cooked some kind of big shrimp dish one night, and this chopped vegetable salad that was incredible. And then What else I'll tell you we had? Oh, we had Cornish game hens one night.
Oh, yeah, I love those.
Stuffing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Really good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, there's blue quail everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, we went the first day out, afternoon, went out, shot shitload of blue quail, came back, cleaned them, and we didn't even got to get around to cooking them. We cleaned them, seasoned them, and then we had so much other stuff going on that they just sat in the fridge. So I kind of sucked not being on the, but we had so much stuff that was going on. We didn't.
That sounds like us, and we're going on like that. It's always a lot of food going on. Yeah. Always a lot. Well, Bob, tell us about. So you killed animal in Pennsylvania.
It took me, so I went to Kentucky first with Moe. Then went to Mexico, Missouri, and these were like beautiful, beautiful whitetail properties. And we just didn't have any luck seeing any shooters. So went back home. My brothers and my friends, and deer camp I've been going to for probably 12, 13 years. And first morning out, I had a nice 9-pointer mature whitetail walk in to 30 yards, and he caught me glassing him, and I had to sit there for a little bit and let him calm down. And the wind was in my favor, and then I just kind of like leaned over around a tree, saw that front shoulder, and dropped him right there, piled right up. So I got a nice 9-pointer that first morning. And later on in the afternoon, a big doe walked out, made the buck look small, actually, and took that one too. So I have tons of meat right now that I can't wait to start.
I know. I just got a phone call. Mine's ready at the processor now. I had 3 processed.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of meat, especially when you get a big body animal.
It is. I had a bunch of summer sausage made and stew meat, some ground beef, some deer tamales.
Okay.
Had some of them made.
Good.
Yeah.
What else did I tell you I ordered? Cube steak, minute steak, tenderized steak.
Yeah.
And I ordered about 50 pounds of summer sausage in 1 pound sticks.
See, I just get the primal cuts because I enjoy the process of, I'll make my own kielbasa, my own hot Italian sausage. I'll do all kinds of, Italian dishes with it. Anything you make with beef or pork, really.
Well, that's why I wanted the ground, too. But
yeah.
The reason I wanted so much summer sausage, and I'm hoping I can kill 1 or 2 more this year, but I wanted the summer sausage to carry to events and when we're out on the road somewhere and just snacking on my own stuff, grabbing some crackers and cheese and pickles. And that's all I need. Throw that on the tailgate, man.
Absolutely.
Crack a beer open and I mean, I'm in go mode. We ain't got to go sit down in the restaurant. I mean, I love that venison summer sausage. And
me too.
Like that.
Me too. My brother actually had some made with jalapenos and smoked cherries.
Smoked cherries?
Cherries. In the summer sausage.
So I'm having
it's fantastic.
3/4 of mine done in jalapeno and cheddar.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm only getting I think 15 pounds of regular.
Okay.
Everything's going to be jalapeno cheddar.
Yeah. I mean, the cheese adds a ton of moisture and that flavor from the jalapeno.
It does.
Good stuff.
Real good. Well, both of y'all have hunted in a lot of places in a lot of states. Where's some of the favorite places y'all have hunted at, states and stuff?
In the States?
I'll tell you what, Turkey, Texas is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go. I got a friend of mine, it's a Navy SEAL. I got a few friends that are Navy SEALs, and one of my buddies just came back not too long ago and shot a big elk in Montana. And he texted me the picture of it, and it was a monster. And this guy's got 750 elk on his property. So he knows that I've been wanting to get an elk. And so he goes,
come on out.
Yep. He already called me up last week and said, hey, we got it. We already talked to the rancher, blah, blah, blah. We did that. So that's cool.
Nice.
And then when I go back to do the base and burnout in Midland, I'm going back out to the lodge, and we're going to go hunting again because I like to get an access if I can. I seen that picture with you and Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm killed a really nice axis when we were in Texas, and I seen one. We both did a little bigger than that, and nobody could get a shot on him.
I could have with my 338 LaPoule.
So, well, that was kind of my next question. Well, you didn't finish, Bob. Was that Texas kind of your best?
I mean, I haven't really hunted outside the states. I've hunted Texas, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Missouri. That's probably about it.
Well, I guess what I was going to say next is, what's your favorite deer rifle to hunt with or cartridge,
Yeah.
What would y'all say? And I know both of y'all probably has a lot of rifles just like me. I know Moe
it's overkill, but I'm all about giving it the hammer. I love my 338 Lapua Magnum.
But you don't deer hunt a lot with that 338, do you?
I did when I was in Texas. Now, I brought that. I know that's overkill for deer, but I brought that in case I seen an elk. And where I'm hunting at, it's distance.
Yes.
It's like
I agree.
acres and acres. You know, it's not like me sitting outside the cornfield somewhere that's 80 yards out. I'm not going to shoot it with 338. I would have.
I like distance too. I can't see as well as I used to.
Yeah. But
hence the glasses. But
I would say, oh God, I got a lot of this new one I got. I'm still getting it figured out, but that 28 nozzler, that's a thumper.
I've been debating on having a 28 built.
But a lot of people are just buying 7 mils because it's basically it's the same bullet.
That's what I've had my whole life.
And there's so much more options. But I like being a little different. The 28 nozzle. Now from what I was told, it's a barrel burner. You get about 800 rounds to it, you're going to need to be putting another barrel on it. Which
I ain't never slapping another proof research on it and going to town.
Well, Christensen ours has her own barrel, but yeah, that's definitely. But that thing is a thumper, man. I mean, I haven't. That's what I brought here, and hopefully I can get a deer with it, a buck. But that 28 nozzler is probably going to be one of my favorite rounds. I mean, I love my 6.5 Creedmoors. I love my 308s. I love my.
I'm not a Creedmoor fan.
Why not?
I
love my Creedmoor.
Man.
I love mine.
That's a bad
I like my 6.5 PRC. It's all right, but I mean, if I'm going deer hunting, I'm grabbing a 7mm or 300 short mag. I mean, most time.
I don't see any problem with the 6.5 Creedmoor. I put 3 deer down with it and piled up.
That's cool. If we shooting distance and it's out there kind of like Moe and the overkill at 338, I'm not going to overkill that much. But when it comes to distance and knockdown power,
you don't trust yourself as a hunter.
Yeah, I do. Okay. So, for instance, would you shoot 500 yards with that 6.5 Creedmoor and expect to put a deer nose down?
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
I've never had a 500
I'm
yard
tell
shot.
You
I've never had a 500 yard shot.
Kevin,
You might get lucky.
A friend of mine. He shot. I'll show you the picture of the elk. He shot it. He texted me. He told me the distance. Granted, he's a Navy SEAL dude and sniper, but he shot 600, a little over 600 yards. This elk was, and dropped it with a 6.5
Creedmoor or PRC.
PRC.
Okay, I know some guys that shot PRCs, but that Creedmoor is not the PRC.
No,
Two
the
totally
PRC is
different
a-
rounds.
Okay,
PRC is hotter
What's
round.
the difference?
Yeah, hotter round, heavier
bigger
round,
cartridge.
everything.
It's the same size bullet, just a bigger cartridge and more powder, which means
I never shot the PRC.
yeah, it's.
I
shot
mean,
his.
basically a Creedmoor. Correct me if I'm wrong here. It's basically just a 270. 270 on steroids. No.
The 6.5 Creedmoor?
No.
The 6.5 Creedmoor has the.
It's like a 270 on steroids.
It
Google
has
it if
the-
you need
It
to.
has the performance of a 308.
I don't know. There's too
Y'all
much
are
stock
speaking
on
another
it. So I
language
just
to
think-
me, so I don't know.
I could go
It
about
does
this
the
all day
job.
long.
It does the job. But I have a Bagara 6.5 Creedmoor that I just recently acquired from a friend, and I'm in love with it.
Oh, nothing doubts me with you.
Listen, I used to
You
savage.
do drive a Malibu sometimes.
That's not true.
That's not true. You didn't
It
drive a
happened
Malibu.
once. It happened once.
Hashtag full circle.
Happened more than once. Because you rented it a week, so it happened more than once. I'm just saying.
Fine.
Well, look here.
Whatever.
Without hunting, without all that, let's talk about where did we see y'all last? I believe it was Key West, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what did y'all think about the Key West Invitational, a.k.a. the Rub and Tug, that W Sauce puts on? Was that not one heck of an event?
Well, you talked it up to us.
You did.
And actually, when we were here at your last podcast is when it was brought up.
Yep.
And
Candace
I think we were talking to Burton on the phone
called
after
him
that.
and got us in.
And it was everything you said and more.
Oh yeah.
it's beautiful.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. The way it was handled, the
professionalism.
organization, the people.
Had y'all been to Key West before?
No.
I've been to Key West before with my late wife. We weaved down there. We took a cruise and we stopped there, but it was like for a half a day or whatever, 4 hour ride.
So it was not like the vibe where we were in.
No,
like
where you're
that.
actually
It's
in
different.
the Key West.
Right.
And the town and stuff is just so laid back in the
it
streets and a lot of good restaurants right
Yeah.
there, right off the marinas. I mean, lots
Yeah,
of places.
man, I had such a great time, dude. It was just, everything they put together, man, that is the one contest, even though it's a charity event, I will always do as long as they invite me. And they invited me as soon as I got back. They sent me an email and said, "We want you back for next year." But God, we had such a great time. I mean,
It was.
on the water fishing, going to get
Lobstering.
lobstering.
Oh my gosh, that was fun.
Did you both lobster?
Yeah.
Actually,
Even Moe went in the water.
Did I
he said, "Did I?"
You don't remember?
get a lobster?
You don't remember going in with the snorkel and the mask?
Oh,
and
yeah.
No, I did say I did see
something about-
pictures of you.
Yeah.
Screaming something about sharks.
No, I don't say nothing about sharks.
That you're built for comfort, not speed.
I'm built for comfort, but not speed. That's right.
And I think I see a shark coming, and it turned out to be like a trigger fish or something.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
So you got in the water and you got a little terrified, is that what you're saying?
Oh, I didn't get terrified, man. That's him.
I was built for the water.
I will tell you, though, that when we was doing the lobstering,
We didn't do that this year.
the current was so bad
That was
the
last
year
year.
before. It would, like, when you jump in the water, it would take you like 15, 20 feet out.
Yeah, that's how
you
it
know,
was.
away from the boat. It was, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a swimmer,
Those
but I ain't
flippers
that
will really
good
help you.
a swimmer.
It's rough trying to go down and stay where you're at with the lobster, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It is. It's not as easy
I
as
never
what people
tried.
would think. 'cause
No, but if you're wearing those big flippers, it makes a huge difference.
it does.
You can't be wearing those little ones
Yeah.
because you just kick, and you don't care anyway.
It's not for me.
I love it. I love it.
I'll just fish.
So what was one of the best parts about the Key West event y'all really liked?
Everything. I mean,
Everything was
the
awesome.
sandbar, cooking burgers on the sandbar was a ton of fun.
It was a little different this year because that storm kind of
Yeah.
messed it, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
It was.
I would say
Next year, I'm going to have more of my stuff kind of done before I go out there to the sandbar. That's me, and have it in my little Yeti thing.
Well, yeah. I mean,
That's
you
me.
always
Where
learn
when I get to
from-
meet, I think I said that the year before, and I didn't realize how much I was better prepared this year than I was the year before. But I
Right.
think this time I'll make up my stuff and have it a little more organized and like a little Yeti tote thing. It'll be a lot more
Yeah,
easier.
that makes a lot of sense.
Not carry a bunch of stuff I don't need. You know what I mean? Things like that.
And for us, like when that water came in, everything was floating. So
Yeah.
we were trying to tie stuff up on the 10x10s, and
it's a time thing, man. You got to get in there and get out, man.
but that's
'cause
okay.
that
That's
time-
what made it unique.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, that little Yeti Go box they give us, the 30.
Yeah.
If it won't fit in there, I don't need it.
Exactly.
To
You
go
don't
out
need
there.
much. You're
Think
turning,
about that.
You're turning in a burger, like one to taste and one to
Yeah.
turn in.
That's it.
You don't need much.
No, really good. But I really, really love that Key West event and can't wait till next
Yeah.
year. And, I mean, we went down early this past year and fished, and if I had to guess, we'd probably do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught my first tarpon down there, and I'm going to actually get a foam mount made of that. And
You're
That
going
was
to need more
really
wall
cool.
space pretty
yeah,
soon.
yeah, it was.
Well, he's about to build a place.
I'm
I
building a
know.
little
I
place.
know. It's exciting.
He's going to build a place in Florida.
Yeah, build a little place, big more metal building, more. I mean,
I'm going to come down there and lay up in his hot tub.
He's putting in a guest house for me.
Huh?
He's putting in a guest house.
yeah,
That's what I'm talking
yeah.
about.
It's a Gucci shipping container, cuz,
It's a goosey shipping.
and I'll throw a Christmas tree in it for you.
Christmas tree.
Fine. I'll take it.
Oh, Lord.
So what did y'all cook for the barbecue part of Key West? Do you remember at this point?
They gave me. We had beef short rib. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Man.
I did. Did you
What
do
was
tri-tip?
yeah, one of us did tri-tip, another one did.
You did tri-tip, and I did that RC Ranch
Give a strip Manhattan.
strip. Yeah, New York strip. It was a
Manhattan cut
strip. Yeah.
something.
Yeah, Manhattan cut New York strip.
Yes, yes. And actually, I did something that a little unconventional where we made a homemade chimichurri and added the peach sauce. So you were getting
I don't think I
the
tried
bar,
any
the
of
bar
y'all's
like the
stuff.
peach barbecue with the chimmy in one little bite. It was like a one bite thing, and it was really good. Like
I
it
didn't
just
try that.
took it to another level.
You made some pizzas there too, though.
Yeah, I did. I
Not
made a
for
bunch.
turn-in.
No, I
think,
just
but
made it for
to
fun.
make them.
Yeah, we seen the score. We did pretty good. I mean, we didn't. Yeah, I can't remember where we was ranked, but we did pretty good. I mean, when you finally understood how to read it, we did pretty good. I was really impressed on what the how we scored.
Well, I guess before that, we were at Memphis in May, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was a good time at Memphis in May.
that was a great
You
time.
won first place beef. You cooked some first place beef.
Yes, yes.
Breaking trophies.
Thank
and
you,
stuff.
thank you.
Yeah,
for
you broke the
continuing that.
trophy. I forgot about him breaking the trophy.
He
Mo.
got all excited. Everyone started shaking.
I got excited. The trophy. What was that trophy rebuilt yet? They said they were going to rebuild it.
You know, that is a great
Probably
question.
not.
I don't think so.
We should have that rebuilt and put it at the farmhouse, and I'll sign the damn thing. Leave a couple like bolts and nuts just hanging off of it to the side.
It's super glued to the side.
That's a story right there. That trophy.
It really is.
Did you leave the whole trophy with them?
They took it back.
Oh,
and
yeah,
said,
we
we're going
did.
to
I
fix it
forgot
for you.
about that. I need to ask Kevin Grothy.
I was about to say, you better ask, because if we ain't got it back, it don't
said,
sound
well,
like it's coming.
They said, we'll rebuild it for you. We apologize. Who's this guy from
Well,
Philly? Manhandling trophies?
whoever makes those trophies, I think nobody tightens them up good, because they don't want to be the one to break those little acrylic things.
Right.
I get all that.
But I did there was a forceful shake.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
I
it was
excited.
more than that.
No,
I was excited.
I
Both
seen it because I was in the
I was
audience when I
excited.
seen that.
We have the video.
It's not every day you do
We also have that video of you in the van.
I had the tiger. Yes.
Yes.
I remember. I was giving my my speech. I was motivating the
Pretty
team.
awesome.
Have we
Let's
talked
keep-
about
let's
the
keep that.
story
Let's
of
keep that.
what accompanied the beef and how it got here? How he flew with the mashed potatoes in his bag, frozen?
Oh, yeah, we
Have
did. You did
talked
make the
about
mashed
that?
potatoes and flew with them.
Yeah. Did we talk about that?
I don't know.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did in the last podcast.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Mashed
That was pretty
potatoes,
cool.
mashed potatoes and Monet's was the last one.
Mashed potatoes and Monet's.
So
It happens.
now we can move forward.
What is it with y'all M's? Malibu's, Monet's,
Well,
Moe.
Mine's all organic though. Mine's for me. This one here is somewhat choice.
It's a good point. Point proven. Point proven.
Mine was ate some bad mussels.
okay.
Well,
Moving on.
look here. Are y'all going back to? I don't even think this is on my list here, but I'm thinking about it coming up in January because we're in December now. Are y'all going to the Cape Girardeau event again?
Yep.
When pigs
He just
fly?
called me. He just called me a few weeks ago. Yep.
And we called y'all about that event before, when they
Yep.
were doing it. That is a great event. I really like that event for cold and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be at the they got us booked at the casino.
Casino.
Lodging.
Yeah, it's at the casino this year. I think some of that is. Yeah, everybody's staying there and all
Yeah,
that.
staying, so-
That's not good, is it?
That's not good.
I'm not really much of a gambler.
Yeah.
Like, I could spend $40 and be done. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't know about
I'm
other
not a
people
big
sitting
gambler
around this
myself.
table.
I like playing cards myself.
Yeah.
I'm a roulette guy.
You
like
roulette
Not
guy?
roulette, but roulette.
I play baccarat, blackjack, craps.
See, I don't
I would
know.
love to learn how to play
Stud.
craps.
I can teach you if you want me to at the farm. We'll get some dice on the way.
Okay.
You got any money on you?
I got
Take it all.
$35.
Take it all. Take it all.
He did
I got
say
35 in this pocket.
I get to rolling them balls
we were having
now.
a conversation on the way back here. You said you have Venmo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure did. You
There's
said
no
just
money
no
in
big
it.
deal.
There's no money in it.
Well, we were
I said
talking
teach
about.
me, not take my money.
Well,
Well, that's how you learn.
Maybe that's how I learn.
That's how you learn.
I mean, I'm
It's
not
called
going
tough
to
love.
teach you. I'm going to teach you as we go, but we're going to gamble as we go.
Okay.
And I'm going to teach you as we go.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take your money as we go.
That's the way. I might not. You might win.
Beginner's luck.
That'll make you feel good.
I know.
Look at this.
They call that hustling.
That's right.
It's not a hustle. It's not a hustle. Well, look, y'all cooked for the troops in South Korea not long ago, right?
Oh, that was
Yeah, that was
awesome.
amazing.
Well, tell us about that trip.
Well, Armed Forces Entertainment, and I do these things all over the world outside the U.S. And it's entertainment for the troops. So we went to South Korea and Camp Humphreys, which is the Army base, and then Osan, which is the Air Force base. So we cooked for 1,200 at Camp Humphreys. And then
At least that.
end up being supposed to be only be like 700-800 for Osan, and it ended up being like a couple thousand people.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was
Lot
nuts
of
because they
people.
heard how well Humphreys was. The food
So did they
and
bring
everything.
y'all in some pits to?
Well, as long story short, the Camp Humphreys guys during COVID, before COVID, they wanted me to come over. And they bought a 40-foot trailer, like a competition trailer. And they bought the big fast cook shack, their biggest pillow cooker, which is the
500,
no, it's bigger than that.
750.
Yeah, 750.
Yep.
That thing was 8. I'm just keep it real. It was a piece of shit. And I'm just telling you, it was brand new, dude.
You probably like me. You used to cooking on an old hickory.
No, listen. I'm gonna tell you what happened. These guys spent. I ain't gonna tell you the number, but it's government, so they got licked, I think. But they bought this trailer and this pit, and they had char griller inside, a couple refrigerators, stuff like that, wash, all that stuff.
It was a nice trailer.
It was a nice trailer, but he told me how much he paid for it, and then they have to ship it from there to South Korea, so they have that cost. So just being in the barbecue industry, and I know pits, and I know I've cooked almost everything. I told him, I had a Zoom call with him like a couple months in advance, and I said, even though they bought that for 2020, so that thing's pretty much been sitting almost.
They hadn't used it at all.
No, I think they cooked some hamburgers once, but it was like nothing major.
Hamburgers on a 750.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I said, put a fire in it. I said, run it through its paces, so
it's good.
That it's good. So when I come over, I got no issues. So get over.
They didn't do that.
No, they did. They did that. But he said, you know what I found out? When I did that, the control board took a shit. That was 2 months ago. So I'm glad he did that. So they got another control board, and he wired it up, put it in. So that was a good thing, because that would have sucked, being at there firing up, and then also the control board takes a dump. You don't have nothing to replace it because you're in South Korea. So we fired it up, loaded that thing up with 750 pounds of meat, briskets and pork butts, and I was watching it, and I know how to run all kinds of stuff, and I'm looking at that pit, and that pit would not get higher than 210, even though it was set at 275. So I'm thinking, what the hell? So that thing had, is it 3 burners?
It 4.
4 burners. So they had these
3 or 4. I don't know.
3 or 4, but they had these. I mean, that's how big this pit was. That thing was a train wreck. It wouldn't feed. It wouldn't go no more than 210.
How long did it take y'all to cook that meat?
So I knew that we put it on, and I was like, man, this is not gonna cut it. I said, we're going to have to, and they had a bunch of auto shams, and
We finished them in ovens.
we fit them all in the ovens, in the blages and stuff inside. Luckily, it's a base club, so it's a big kitchen. So, but we stuffed every one of those cooking holds, put them on cook. But I let it run for 3-4 hours to get some smoke, because it would go 210, but it would smoke, but it wouldn't get no hotter than that. So I got some good smoke on that meat.
And then put it in there.
And then I wrapped them up in butcher paper, and I put them in all the ovens, and we cooked them all the way to the end back in. And it was unfortunate too, because like chicken, we were going to cook chicken the next day on the smoker, so they had to go in storage on base and find the open grills, like you see at the little open grills, and they found every grill they had.
Y'all had to man a bunch of grills.
Yeah,
And
I had 8 6-foot tables full of chicken, whole like leg quarters.
Yep.
And breast sections, and we seasoned them all up, and then we had to put them on open grills, charcoal grills.
And micromanage every piece.
And it was 90-some degrees there anyway.
Yeah.
Man, talk about sweating your butt off.
Yeah. But
we got it done.
We got it done.
And a lot of people
And they were blown
smiled
away.
happy. Yeah.
They were blown away, man. And
Yep.
It's hard to feed that many people with not the right equipment sometimes.
Yeah. Right.
It really is.
And I didn't mean to say that about Cook Shack, because I'm not, but for a pit that new, and I know that happens.
I mean, but I will say, shipping it all the way across the globe and all that during transport and getting jarred around and picked up in ocean containers, that's a lot of factors to weigh in that too. Yes. So, but I do get what you're saying. You would think that it would work a little more efficiently.
I think it's a commercial pit. Period.
It should work a little more efficiently than what it did. I've not ever cooked on a Cook Shack myself. You used to own one, didn't you? I thought you owned some FEC 100s one time.
No, FEC 100s never. I've owned Traegers, and I owned GMG, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But FEC, no.
I know a lot of people's had a lot of good luck out of them. Back the regular units, not the big. I don't know a lot of people has the big commercial units. Yeah. But I know back in the day, I think David Bosco, he always
I was getting ready to mention him. David Bosco, I've done
a little FEC 100s.
I've done, and he's He done amazing. But he
He's
sit
won
there and
world
told me what he did.
championships on a pellet grill.
Yeah,
You gotta,
absolutely.
Got to give it to that man. He never changed.
And what he did, he told me what he did was, in order for him to get the smoke that would be a comparator like off a stick burner, a pellet cooker by nature, especially the older school ones like the old cook shacks, all pellet cookers, period, they're designed to run efficient, not inefficient. So when you turn the temperature down, pit run on a pellet cooker, in its algorithm, it's set to run at a certain point. Mm-hmm. And then you get below that, then it'll still run, but it'll run inefficient. And that's where you get more smoke. So if you notice David, he'd have those things, so when he put his stuff on, the thing would be rolling coal, man, smoking. And he would run it inefficient for a while to where he got all the smoke in that he wants in the exterior. And then he would take off, ramp it up, whatever, I don't know his number was, 250, 273, I don't know what he ran. And then that's how that's how he did it. And that's why his barbecue tasted like it came off a stick burner or it had good flavor. Because, I'm not saying pellet cookers can't do good flavors, because they can.
They've come a long way,
they've come a long way
you
since
said,
then.
from what they were. And I've cooked on several different models lately of cookers and got some more I'm about to test out. And I will tell you, some of these ones are designed to get a lot more smoke than others. You plug them all in, you run them all at 225 degrees or whatever, and just same pellets.
Yeah.
And you watch every one of them, and you watch the smoke coming out of them.
Yep.
And it's incredible the differences between companies, how they are right now.
Yep.
And I'm not going to bash any of them, because all of them, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't like a pellet grill. And you got some real purists out there. We catch some stuff for it online sometimes. But I can tell you, it's hard to – man, I like watching the ball game sometimes. And you can go out there and throw that on a pellet grill and throw down with it. And one of my most favorite things of feeding the crowd is 1.5-inch ribeyes or strips and throwing them on that pellet grill, getting them to 110, getting a live fire rolling, blaring, searing them off.
Yeah.
It's just an easier way to cook it instead of manning the grill, like you said.
Like I'm a Green Mountain Grills guy, and I got them on my back deck, and I got stick burner and stuff. But I tell you what, my wife, she wasn't walking outside and firing up no stick burner.
That was her.
And my daughters, no, but they can go right, open the French door up, go check the pellets, start.
Yeah.
Let us do a cycle. As long as it takes off, they can run around and get that thing at the tip, and they can throw their hamburgers or chicken, whatever they want on there.
And for the most part, most people, I feel like, have disability, or not disabilities, that have a disconnect with the pellet grills. They say that, for one, about the smoke factor, right? And there's ways around that now. They make those smoke tubes, whatever else. But just people wanting to be purists. But, Candace likes to meat off of a pellet grill a little bit better than charcoal sometimes, depending on what it is.
And it's like any other grill or smoker. If you learn your smoker,
that's right.
Right, then you can learn how to cook on it the way you want.
That's right.
I have that little Green Mountain Grill Trek, that little tabletop. Brought it to deer camp in Pennsylvania. Got crispy wings on it. Mm-hmm. We did some beautiful food on it. Mm-hmm. And it's tiny. It's portable.
Yep.
It was 16 degrees outside, and it ran perfect while I was sitting by the fire.
Oh, yeah. I
can cook some mean Q on a pellet grill. You just got to know how to run it.
Well, and one of the biggest things is doing that overnight brisket or pork butt, putting it on at 200 degrees.
Right.
And just letting it go. You're not going to run out of pellets. And none of the bigger units, has got a bigger hopper.
Right.
And you put those things on, and it's still not 150 degrees the next morning.
Yep.
And you could let it roll on. It wouldn't be done to 6 if you didn't wrap it.
That's right.
But we wrap ours and then kind of crank it up to 250, and it's usually done by 9 or 10 a.m. And then you can let it rest, especially a brisket, till 5 in the afternoon, 6 to eat dinner, and it's perfect by that time. Instead of rushing it hot and fast and trying
low and
to
slow
hold
is the way to go, man. You're breaking down those collagens, those tissues,
especially on a brisket. To me,
on a brisket, definitely on a brisket.
I'll do a hot and fast sometimes, right? Because you ain't got the time, right? Mm-hmm. Love it. I love my drum.
I do.
I'm sure you the same way. I love a drum brisket. It's totally different though than that low and slow brisket.
Right.
Tastes like a grilled steak versus.
Dude, I love it.
And when you have a choice brisket, man, 230, 240, just let it rock.
You're right.
Holy smokes.
I will, though, say when it comes to chicken wings, if I had a choice, I'd much rather use the drum than the pellet grill.
Yeah.
It's just something about them chicken wings.
Well, it's that flame kiss.
Yes.
I tell people, no matter what kind of pit you got and know how well it is, how well it runs. That's why for me, when it comes to a steak, I like flame kiss. I've been to Luger's and all these other upscale fancy steakhouses where they're cooking a cast iron skull over a salamander and, putting butter.
I'm not a salamander person.
You know what I mean? And it does, or a broiler, and it does nothing for me.
Sous vide is not as good either.
Yes, and I concur.
I mean, it's
you
good.
Can flame kiss,
I like
it. Flame kiss at the end.
Where were we when we had that steak at like that old school steakhouse? It was me, you, and Logan.
We're in Orlando.
Was that Orlando? You remember what I'm talking about? How it had like that taste that you don't get anywhere else.
Yeah,
it was like cooked over wood.
Yeah,
it's different. Cooking over wood or a good lump charcoal. I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot different. And that open fire is a lot different.
I take that. I take that over everything. Like one of the things I did back in the day in competition, which I loved, but it doesn't work everywhere, is that I used to. This is before I had a drum. I would have those big green eggs, and I had them on the back of my trailer, and I would start. I had a whole hickory back there.
Well, you do your briskets on it. I remember that.
Well, yeah, I used to do my briskets, but I would start. I would set my green egg to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Direct. And once they equalized everything, my briskets sit on the countertop, seasoned, injected, all ready to go. I would go, and my pit was set at 300 degrees.
So you'd move it over once you got the crust you wanted.
Yeah, even my offset. If I could have my offset running at 300, and then I would have a can. And I would start that brisket and do that. But the thing about it is, like you said, it takes on that flavor, which I love, which is that steaky gorilla flavor. So that's why once I do it for an hour direct, I transfer it over to my offset or old hickory or whatever, and take it out the back door then, you know what I mean, until I wrap it or whatever. And you get the smoke benefits of a low and slow, but then you also get that flame kiss. And I remember making the Sam's Club regional, and it was down in Tennessee. I can't remember where it was at in Tennessee, but it was my first time competing. My first time being in that Sam's Club, making it to the regional. And all them teams from Florida, Alabama, Georgia, all those southern teams, the ones that made it, they were there. And I remember doing the brisket the way I love doing brisket. And we're all kind of all next to each other, so we kind of all swap briskets. Bubba Q's was down there. I mean, Florida Skin and Bone, not Florida Skin and Bone, but Florida, not Florida Skin and Bone.
That's going back.
No, but it wasn't Florida Skin and Bone. It was he's a really good competition team. But it was a lot of teams, and I remember we all stood around and swapped briskets. And the first thing that hit my mind and said, all their briskets taste the same. Because a lot of those guys are just gravity cookers in a pan. That's what they do. That's just what it is. And I knew immediately what it was. Also, I know a lot of the equipment they're cooking on, but mine was the only one that had that sticky, grilly flavor. And I remember that dude from Florida. I can't remember his name again. He's big in that competition. He used to win all the time. Had a black trailer, palm tree on. I can't remember. But if I ever told you, you know who he is. He won a lot of stuff for KCBS and the FBA. And he said, man, Mo, that brisket's freaking delicious.
Talking about Rob Bagley?
Nope.
That's who I was sitting here thinking of, but I don't think that he had a palm tree.
But he was a big-time competition dude.
Wasn't Thomas Henry, was it?
What was his team name?
Oh, Thomas Henry. He was a Georgia boy.
Yeah, he cooked South Georgia and Florida.
No, this dude was Florida dude. But he
lives in Florida.
Yeah, and he said, man, but that ain't going to do nothing here. And I thought, honestly, I thought my brisket was better than all of them. But that's what you always. But mine had that steaky grilly flavor.
I felt that way at Sam's Club too. Cost me $52,000 there.
Dude, I got killed. Obviously, I didn't make it to the next round to Bentonville, but I was just like.
I went to the finals before. That's where it cost me that pork.
Yeah, I've been at the finals 4 or 5 times, and then
I mean, I won. I had 2 180s right out of the gate. What was it?
I don't remember.
20,000 or 10,000 a category, 7,500 a category. I don't remember what it was, and then something else, and then I was like 42nd in pork. And if
that's what got me too. Pork
if I'd have been 30, if I'd have been 38th, I'd have won another 52,000. Put me at 5th place, and I had like a 12th brisket with 2 180s. Yeah, I still remember it.
I know we've gotten way off topic, but I wanted to ask about South. Did y'all get to explore the food in South Korea at all?
Thank you for bringing it back.
Because I wanted to go back to that.
She brought it back. We all off on tangents.
Oh, I want to know. I mean, I've never been there. So
Well, can I tell you a funny quick story?
Sure.
So, we had a lot of responsibility there, cooking and prepping for all these people.
Right.
And they took us in a couple of vans into Seoul and said, okay, you guys have a few hours, go explore, go find some food, go look at some shops. And it was Moe and I, and then Frank and Sandy, and there was probably like 6 or 7 of us. And so everyone's starting to look around, and we're in this little cobblestone alleyway. And I look around, and everybody's gone. And I didn't know where anybody was.
You know what, Bob? You get yourself lost
I do
all the damn time.
I do.
In their defense, it's like you wander off.
I didn't move. No, I didn't move. They
You
all
just
wandered off.
you're a
they
wanderer.
wandered off, and all of a sudden I was lost. Okay, so I just said,
Just
you know
like
what?
in Memphis in May, remember?
I walked into this little tiny.
Just like
Didn't
saying,
know what gate he was. I don't know.
Just like walking up to the airport counter. Oh, sir, here's a Malibu. Oh, great, I'll take that.
Anyways, go.
Anyway, I walked into this tiny little restaurant, and there wasn't a word of English anywhere. And I sat down at a little table, and there was a little courtyard, and I just ordered this. It was like an appetizer. I ordered like a soup, small cup of soup, and this rice dish with octopus in it.
Did you know what you were ordering?
I mean, there's pictures.
Oh, okay.
And I've had Korean food before. So they bring out the rice dish with the octopus, and it's in a roll. It's like a hot bowl. Mm-hmm. But the food isn't cooked. When you stir the food around, it cooks on the sides of the bowl. It's really interesting.
Gotcha.
So you let that kind of sit. So then they bring out this like stone bowl with a big ladle in it and then a smaller little saucer. And then they bring out kimchi and tofu and some bean sprouts and all this stuff. So I'm like looking at this and I taste it's cold. Well, I start putting the kimchi in it. I start putting the bean sprouts in it and tofu and mixing it around and then pouring it into the little bowl. Now, I don't know. I'm just doing stuff. And I'm drinking it. And it doesn't really taste like soup to me, but, I'm going with it. And I had like 4 little bowls of this. And I'm like starting to feel lightheaded. I'm like, what the heck? All of a sudden, they bring out my soup. I'm like, well, if that's my soup, I said, what is this? And she's giggling. She goes, that's our traditional wine, our rice wine. So I drank like 4 bowls of rice wine with all the, like the tofu and the kimchi in the wine because I thought it was the soup. And I was shit-faced.
Wow.
I mean, did it not taste like strong
No, it
something?
didn't taste like wine. It was almost like a sweet miso or something like that.
Oh.
I thought it could be soup. Plus, they didn't bring the soup out, so I thought that was the soup. I never ordered the wine. So the wine was just complimentary, probably just to mess with me.
Sounds like they laughed at you, so.
They
Well,
did.
that's pretty good there.
I mean,
So
I still had a good time.
You
but
found them eventually, or they found you?
yeah, about an hour later.
So did you try different food than Bob?
Yeah. I had probably the most interesting was we was down at the market. Really like what you would see some out of James Bond and shit. All the market, all people hustle and bustle, and so there's all these little stalls and people cooking. Fish heads, everything was great. So Montgomery says, "Look, Dad, come and sit down here." And so we sat down in this little area, sat in there, looked at the picture, and there's a plate. And it's got octopus on it, like raw octopus tentacles, and then like a little salad underneath it. So I sit there. My daughter's like, where Candace is at, and they bring this plate, and this plate is moving, and it's all the tentacles. Oh. And I think they put citric acid on them. That's what causes them to start, because they're cut tentacles.
And they are moving.
And the octopus are in the tank behind, so they're snatching them out and they're cutting the tentacles off, and they put them on these microgreens, and they're just the whole plate. The suckers are sticking, whenever and that's and
you're supposed to eat them raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my daughter told me, she goes, make sure you really chew it, because if they can attach themselves to your throat because the suckers
And crawl back out.
Well, I crawl back out. They just
Well,
suck.
they could. You never know.
You got something, and until they
might crawl back out.
So when I picked one up, you can feel it. Your tongue trying to stick to your tongue, and you're pulling away, and you got to really destroy it with your teeth. and it's I love octopus.
So describe it to me like that. Is it worse than a chicken gizzard untenderized?
As far as chewiness,
Yeah.
it's very chewy.
Very
But
chewy.
they're small. They're tiny.
It's even more chewy than that. It's
More chewy than a gizzard.
Yeah, it was like you had to put effort in it to break the tissues of that. That's a muscle, man.
Yeah.
And I was going like this because it's not cooked; it's raw.
So does it have any flavor?
It have no
though?
damn
Like,
flavor, nothing. I think it's more like a shock and awe, but it's part of the culture. And you know, I guess there was soy sauce there. I could have dipped it in there, and that would have made it much. But it tasted like nothing.
So I walked by when him and Montgomery are sitting there, and they're like, "Bobby, come here. Like, you got to try this." And I look at the plate, and I'm like, I'm not trying that. And I sat down and I tried it. And I put one in my mouth, and I'm like, where'd it go? And it was stuck to the roof of my mouth. It was like crawling around the roof of my mouth.
Is that the first time you said that?
That's just
And how come you didn't say that to Mo?
Hold up.
How come you didn't say it to Mo?
Hold up. Heath Riles, I salute you.
Kiss my ass. How come you don't torment him that way?
I mean, because you set yourself up for it.
Okay, so what? Anyway.
He was in the midst of a full-length, story. His was, I was embracing
He
it.
said a couple things that
And then you come out of left field with that.
questionable.
I mean, maybe, but I couldn't think of nothing witty for him.
All right, fine.
so you didn't really just have anything there that
Chicken feet.
like you would just want to have again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of food.
But I'm saying, was it good? Like,
Yes,
Yeah.
like to the
great
point of
food.
like, oh, I would eat that
I'm
again.
sorry.
Okay,
Candace,
so there
yes.
were these little cakey, cornbready, almost like a oval muffin, right? That were crispy on the outside. They were very sweet. Then they had like a little quail egg on top, and they cook them with the egg, so it's like a little breakfast treat. So it's like a sweet, cakey cornbread,
Yeah.
with a little egg cooked on top. Absolutely delicious.
Yep. I had one of those.
Very good. Baby crab, like whole crabs that were deep fried. It would be lightly battered, deep fried, and served with like a chili garlic sauce.
Yep.
Delicious. There was a ton of great food.
Yeah, it was a ton of great food.
But you're trying. You want to look at the weird stuff. You want to try.
Well, yeah.
Everybody
Well,
wants to
I
like.
don't know about that. But y'all did.
I love
don't know
watching
about
Andrew
that.
Zimmer and that whole.
I don't know if I could.
I mean, I do too, but some of the stuff I can't do.
No,
Oh,
some of the
something
stuff-
I love food, but there's some stuff I'm like,
I'm not gonna like slice open a piece of bamboo and eat like a slug that big out of it. That's not gonna happen. That has teeth,
yeah, I'm not.
so it's gonna fucking bite you back.
So did your daughter want to try that?
yeah.
Like she was.
Yeah, she's my daughters are very eclectic and they're very they're diverse in the food, man. I mean, they cook a lot of Korean type dishes at home, and she was giving me the whole backstory and and everything. So she's pretty cool. I love bringing her along because it's my daughter and she gets the worldly adventures and get to experience that with her pops, and
Now is she the oldest?
she's
Here?
the oldest.
Yeah.
And she works her butt off. She works hard.
Yeah, she does, and
She takes care of you, I'm sure.
she does. That's the thing about girls, man. When we get old and raggedy, and we're wearing Depends and stuff, they're gonna
Here
make
we
sure
go.
they're gonna make sure Pops is okay.
Well, if you're already wearing the pins, you got more problems than I knew about.
You know what I mean, man. That's pretty good, though.
I don't know if I know what you mean.
Okay, so before we get off topic, I have another question about South Korea. Before we move on, did you get a tattoo there, or had you been there before?
I have the design. Actually, I have an appointment next week.
So you won't.
My tattoo guy, because sometimes I'll get them done overseas, and depending on my schedule,
Yeah,
normally we only get like a day off. So it's like
don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, we don't want it.
Yeah, you don't want to
depends.
spend 6 hours in a tattoo studio.
No.
Yeah. So my guy in Ankeny in Iowa, Pink Elephant Tattoo. This guy, he's badass, man. He got one arm, prosthetic, lots in the farm equipment.
Well, besides South Korea, are y'all going to any other places in 2025?
Yeah. So they have already talking with me about this is Armed Forces Entertainment. So they're talking with me about they're getting everything lined up for Poland and Turkey.
That'd be a cool
So
trip.
those are the first two things for them on the map. Might be Alaska, but Anchorage for the Coast Guard. So that'll
be
probably
cool.
come before,
That would be cool.
yeah. And
Alaska.
then
Anchorage.
When are you talking about that? I may fly up there.
Should. Because we're going to be in. We got to figure out how to.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so
halibut fishing.
That would be cool.
Anchorage. So they already reached out to me and said, "Hey, after we did the event there, the Coast Guard says, how can we get Moe to come down to Anchorage?" And then Franklin reached out to me. I said, "Yeah, man, hell yeah, I'd love to do that," because we went trying to go fishing.
Yeah,
right
that's been
there.
on my bucket list. Alaska.
So you did. Come on over, man. It'll be a good time,
That's
bro.
pretty cool. Yeah.
We went pike fishing up north.
Dude.
We
Lost a
can't. We
trophy.
can't disclose the location. We were told where it's weakest.
Lost.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's like this shallow Lord of the Rings type lake. I don't know how deep it was, but it wasn't that deep. I mean, those canals, you can see the bottom, and they're just like little.
Maybe at the most like 8 feet.
Man, you talking about all this lake has?
Flats, something flat.
It's really flat. It's a really shallow lake, big but shallow. Northern pike, northern pike, and that's it. Maybe some grayling. So all they do is feed on each other, and there's a huge duck population there.
Yeah,
huge, and that's what they feed on. That's why they're so big. They eat ducks, and they eat itself at the pike. And so we were actually just cruising down
I don't even
one of
think
the
there's
canals.
frogs and stuff up there.
Yeah,
There's
I mean
not.
Wow.
Yeah, they that's what they eat, and so it's like they're super aggressive, especially the bigger ones.
Ducks.
Yeah, I actually saw a duck,
Yeah,
sitting there, and then I see this, whoop, and all of a sudden the duck's gone.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the teeth on them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. But
Yeah.
I knew they were aggressive and all that.
I caught one that was like almost 45 inches.
And the one I caught
Huge.
lost. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
If you lost it, you didn't catch it.
I know. But I'm gonna tell you, we got it.
That would be a pretty cool mount.
Oh, absolutely. They're gorgeous.
Yeah. And the one I hooked, I was throwing the lure from the tail, from the
huge.
twister. It was like that. It was crazy. It was bigger than my foot, and I wear a size 15. It's like throwing a shoe. Obnoxious all go, like a big Mr. Twister is what it was.
Well, I mean, that's bigger than what you fish for sharks and all that with.
Dude, it was
You
crazy.
know?
And these things were coming up and hitting it. And so you're constantly replacing the whole lure because they would just snatch the tail off if they didn't get the hook. And I hooked into what I wanted to catch.
Really aggressive, man.
Very.
It was, what did he say it was? It was like 60 inches. It was
It had to be 50 to 60 inches.
50 to 60 inches.
I caught a glimpse of it, and I was like, holy smokes, that thing is huge.
Yeah, he was like every bit.
Yeah, it was
And
big.
I mean, he's like that, dude. And he was
It's
one of those.
bigger every time he tells a story.
No, seriously, dude. And I was fishing on the front of the boat, and I was working him in, but I just had a gut instinct saying I'm going to lose this fish, man. Just the way he's acting, and he got about 10 yards, 10 yards, if that, from the boat.
Snapping
He was
line.
closer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just like, I was like, and I could see him because I was sitting on the front of the boat. I was standing a little higher, and you could just see, it was massive, man. And I think it was massive. It was one of those ones I wanted to get mounted.
So
Take a picture of it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pike is pretty cool.
It was a 3-hour ride in, like up the mountain, down the mountain, and then the boat ride to where we were going. It was an adventure just getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh, we saw
country,
moose. We were taking video. There's moose like right on the shoreline.
though. Yep.
We were talking about moose. How long? The place he went in Texas, that guy has, the owner of it, he has hunted all over, and there
He's
are
hunted
like
all over the
animals. I've saw Malcolm's video or whatever where it showed a bunch of the stuff, and I was asking Heath, I was like, did he have a moose? And he was like, that's the one thing I didn't see.
Yeah, I didn't see a
So-
moose, but
I heard
John
moose.
has been everywhere. Not like all
Yeah, like
Africa
zebra and
and,
bears and all kinds of
New
stuff.
Zealand, and I mean all those places. It's just incredible. Just
It seems like a moose would be,
I heard they're really good eating. I heard.
aren't they aggressive animals?
Oh yeah,
Like very aggressive. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm.
Especially
hard to
mama and her
beat-
cow.
it'd be hard to
mama,
beat elk.
Mama and her baby.
Yeah, I love elk meat.
Elk is the best. Well, look, talking about all this, y'all have got an upcoming class coming up, right?
We do, yeah.
And y'all got a class coming up in Atlanta on March the 22nd. Is that right?
We do, yes.
It's not sold out yet, but it's really close,
We're halfway.
right?
I mean, it got leaked out by someone, not naming names, and so then we just had a flyer made, and we're already literally. I think we can take 40 people, and we already have 20, and it's been 24 hours.
Wow.
So
that'll be a good time over there.
Where's it going to be?
So it's actually at a little park inside of a neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
But it's got a pavilion and bathrooms and all that stuff. And it's a guy we know who's taken our class before, a friend of ours, who takes our class in Dallas area. And he lives in Atlanta, and he said, I'd love to do it in Atlanta. And it's going crazy.
Well, how do y'all's classes go? Tell us a little bit about them. How do they flow real well?
It's really good. We Bob and I, like I said, we're good buds, and so I'll take a couple topics. He takes a couple topics, and it's just a 6-hour class, but you get a lot of information. You have PowerPoints on the topics we talk about. We talk about raw to finish, but we talk about a little over an hour each subject, and then after each topic is done. We have the cooked product so they can taste it. So that's kind of cool, man. And we have a good time. We get along. We're able to, I know how he operates. He knows how I operate.
Right.
And so we just make it fun. And then we have good friends like Tito's and
Bloody Revolution. We do a Bloody Mary bar for everybody. So we'll have waters and Bloody Marys, and they're eating all day long.
Yep.
They're sampling, but by the end of the day, they're full. And we do a lot of question answers. So we mix it with competition and backyard. Mm-hmm. So we take a kind of a poll in the beginning of the class, say, what level are you at? And we'll gear it toward the level of that particular class. And then if they want competition tricks and tips, we give them that. If they want real basic, how do I use my Weber kettle to smoke a brisket, we teach that. We feed off of the group. And it makes for a very successful class. And people will come back. People have taken our class 4 or 5 times in different parts of the country. We already have people coming from California to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we're pretty happy with it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know what I have going on then. Maybe, who knows?
Come see us. Or maybe we'll come see you afterwards and turkey hunt.
God, there's enough turkeys.
I know.
For sure.
Saw like
They're
30 of them
everywhere.
this morning.
You saw 30 turkeys this morning.
Pretty close to
I
it.
counted 73 one day from front to back.
There's a lot.
You got good habitat there, man.
I ain't even got started yet. Wait, we're gonna plant some
They
stuff
got
next
cover
year.
over there. They're getting the trees, and then we want to go out to the.
younger ones are up front, he said, and the older ones stay towards the back.
He's right. He's right. 'Cause I seen
the
that too.
land.
I seen that.
Yeah, that makes
There's
sense.
a field in the back. Where
Well, we could talk about this all day long.
Yeah, we could.
For sure, no doubt. Well, tell everybody where they can find y'all at, y'all socials and things like that, and if they're interested in the class, where they can sign up for the class at.
Okay.
Well, my website is moecasonbbq.com, and you can find me on Instagram, Facebook. When Bob and I do classes, it's www.thebobandmoebarbecueshow.com.
That's correct. That's where you can find it. And you can find my products at bobtrudnakbbq.com. Find me on social media at bbqbob11, or Bob Trudnak brand on Facebook, and just look up our names. You'll find us.
You got a lot of confusing stuff going on there.
MalibuBob.com.
You do have
Don't look that up. I
You
don't
do
know what
have
that
a
is.
page called Malibu Bob now, right?
I don't. Oh, it's not endorsed by me. It might be out there.
Coming soon.
I have nothing to do with it.
Coming soon to a Facebook near you. Malibu Bob's Adventures.
Malibu Bob's Adventures, yeah.
merchandise and all.
That's
You make
it. Sounds good to me.
bobblehead.
Well, look, guys, I hope y'all had a good time today shooting the Que with our good buddies Bob and Moe. It's always a good time when y'all come out and hang out. And now we're fixing to head on down to the farm and see if we can't have a good time this evening. How about that?
That's good.
Stuff happens.
We'll see y'all next season with a brand new episode. And who knows who's going to be a guest next year. We'll see y'all in 2025.
If you have any comments or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels. Leave us a review if you've enjoyed the show. And until next time, keep shooting the Que.